Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving headfirst into what is, without a doubt, the greatest automotive rivalry of all time. We're going to look at exactly how a remarkably petty feud between two incredibly stubborn Italian men built the most legendary supercars in human history. We're going to unpack the whole shebang. The engineering, the racing pedigrees, the wild culture clash, and the cutting-edge modern telemetry. We want to understand exactly how these two giants pushed each other to absolute greatness. So buckle up.
Look, let's just cut right to the chase with a question that really defines the entire philosophical divide between these two iconic brands. Think about it. Are you the kind of person who demands racing perfection, obsessed with shaving tenths of a second off your lap times? Or are you looking for a loud, unapologetic, brutal machine that forces literally everyone on the street to stop and stare? Keep that question in the back of your mind as we start breaking down the DNA of these two automakers.
All right, Section 1, the spite that started it. To really understand the wildly different cars these companies produce today, we actually have to travel all the way back to the 1960s. The origin story of this rivalry is legendary, and honestly a little spiteful. It's a tale of massive egos, mechanics, and one fateful argument. On one side of the ring, you've got Enzo Ferrari. He's a guy who famously only built glamorous road cars just to fund his true obsession, his racing team. And juxtaposed against him, you have Ferruccio Lamborghini, a brilliant mechanic, sure, but he made his absolute fortune taking post-war military machines and repurposing them into incredibly successful farming tractors.
Now here's where it gets good. Ferruccio was wealthy. He loved luxury, and he actually bought a Ferrari. But he hated the clutch. He felt it was way too unrefined for a grand tourer. So what does he do? He goes directly to Enzo Ferrari to complain and offer some mechanical advice. Well, Enzo didn't take kindly to that. He flat out insulted him, basically telling a tractor mechanic to go back to his farm and leave the sports cars to him. Ouch, right? Well, that specific insult lit a fire under Lamborghini. He was absolutely furious and vowed to build the perfect grand tourer himself, launching his own car company in 1963.
Moving on to Section 2, track royalty versus road rebels.
You see, that initial spite created two completely opposite engineering philosophies. And it's fascinating, really, because that DNA, born from a 1960s argument, still dictates exactly how these cars are built and marketed right now. Take Ferrari. Their entire pedigree is defined by this staggering number: 16 Formula One World Championships. They've been racing for 90 years, which, crazy enough, is longer than they've even been making road cars. Their street cars are explicitly designed to make you feel like a track hero.
The contrast here is just night and day. While Ferrari was busy ripping technology straight out of F1, stuff like paddle shifters and structural engines, and injecting it directly into their street cars, Lamborghini went completely rogue. Ferruccio thought racing was a massive waste of money. To this day, Lamborghini refuses to fund a works racing team because, get this, they don't want to compete against their own customers. Instead, they threw all their weight into radical designs, brute force street presence, and pioneering all-wheel drive systems for unbelievable traction. And you can see how this street-level rivalry just exploded through the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It was an all-out top-speed war. Lamborghini basically invents the modern supercar with the mid-engine Miura hitting 171 miles per hour in '66. Bam! The very next year, Ferrari hits 174 with the Daytona. Lamborghini strikes back with the Miura S and then just shatters the 180-mile-per-hour barrier with the poster child of the 80s, the Countach. Ferrari fires back with the gorgeous F40, nearly touching 200. They were relentlessly trading world records.
Which brings us to Section 3, the V12 to hybrid evolution.
Beneath all that stunning bodywork, the engines are where the real emotion of these brands lives. Automotive legend Jay Leno actually hit the nail on the head describing the visceral, musical soul of these naturally aspirated beasts. While talking about the 4-liter V12 in his classic '69 Lamborghini Espada, he called it an Italian opera. And he's right. Both companies relied on these massive, screaming engines to give their cars that aggressive, signature Italian soul.
Over the decades, we've watched this incredible evolution. We went from pure brute force V12s and V10s to Ferrari literally building the highest horsepower, naturally aspirated V8s on the planet. But today, well, the game has changed. Both are shifting to hybrid powertrains, but they're doing it their own way. Ferrari is using kinetic energy recovery systems pulled straight out of their F1 cars. Meanwhile, Lamborghini introduces something like the Sion, where out of 800-plus horsepower, only a tiny fraction is electric. Honestly, that is the most Lamborghini way to do a hybrid ever.
All right, Section 4, exclusivity and brand culture.
Now, you have to realize this rivalry extends way beyond engineering or lab times. It's deeply embedded in the culture, the public perception, and the insane exclusivity of the owners. $50 million. Let that sink in. That's what a classic Ferrari 250 GTO can command at auction. Ferrari leverages this massive heritage to create what is essentially the world's most exclusive club. They have these hyper-limited track-only cars like the FXX Evo, where you pay millions, but Ferrari literally keeps the car and only flies it out to tracks for you to drive. Talk about elite status.
The culture gap here is just massive. Ferrari fiercely protects its image. They are a luxury lifestyle brand. They've got theme parks, perfumes, the whole 9 yards. And they are strict. They will literally send a cease and desist letter to a celebrity, like they did to deadmau5, just for wrapping their car in an internet meme. Lamborghini, total opposite. They embrace the chaos. You want to put a wild exoskeleton kit or a prismatic wrap on your Aventura? Go for it. They have a completely chill attitude toward aftermarket mods. It's just a totally different vibe.
Let's wrap things up with Section 5, the modern hybrid showdown.
Okay, so let's pit their absolute newest, most cutting-edge hybrid masterpieces against each other. Looking at the modern tail of the tape, we've got the Lamborghini Temerario. It packs a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 with 3 electric motors, pushing a staggering 907 horsepower to all 4 wheels. But all that tech makes it heavy. We're talking SUV weight ranges here. On the flip side, Ferrari's 296 GTB uses a smaller 3-liter V6 and just 1 electric motor, making 818 horsepower to the rear wheels only. But here's the kicker. The Ferrari is over 1,000 pounds lighter.
So what happens when you actually line them up? The results are mind-bending. Using those 3 electric motors and its aggressive thrust mode, the heavy Lamborghini practically stops the Earth's rotation off the starting line. It hits 60 miles per hour in a jaw-dropping 2.2 seconds. It pulls more than a full G of force the entire way to 60. It just dominates the launch with absolute brute electric force.
So, what's the real takeaway from this quarter-mile data? It shows us that while Lamborghini's all-wheel drive traction is unbeatable off the line, Ferrari's lightweight racing pedigree shines through the second the cars are actually rolling. If you take the launch out of the equation, the lighter rear-wheel drive Ferrari perfectly matches the acceleration of the much more powerful Lamborghini gear for gear. It is literally the classic battle of brute force versus track-honed efficiency, just updated for the hybrid age.
So, knowing the history, the spite, the wildly different brand cultures, and the mind-bending modern technology we've uncovered in this explainer, the only question left is which side of the track do you stand on? Are you drawn to the elegant, track-focused precision of the prancing horse, or the rebellious, street-dominating chaos of the raging bull? It's a rivalry that gave us the greatest cars on Earth, and you know what? It is far from over.